Neurodegenerative disease is an umbrella term for a range of conditions which primarily affect the neurons in the human brain and the nervous system. A neuron is an elongated cell that looks like this, with both ends having root-like tentacles for receiving and transmitting signals. Imagine them to be like electrical wiring connections in your home. Neurons send and receive electrical signals to and from the other nerve cells, muscle, gland cells that are critical for proper functioning of our body. The neurons are the building blocks of the nervous system, which includes the brain, the spinal cord. We are born with about 100 billion neurons. Neurons send signals at an incredibly high speed. That's important so that if you were to accidentally touch something hot, the high-speed signals will make you withdraw your hand before it gets burned. While most neurons are concentrated in the brain and spinal cord, these nerve cells form an extensive network throughout our body. It's amazing to know that if we all lined up the neurons in our body, it will stretch to 1,000 kilometers long. Neurons are what we term as specialized cells. They normally don't replace themselves. So when they become damaged or die, they cannot be replaced by the body. A huge amount of critical functions within our body run in an automatic manner without our conscious control. The heart beats by itself. We never need to tell our stomach to digest the food we eat. We perspire automatically in an environment that is warm, and we shiver when feeling cold. Our detoxification, excretion, reproductive systems all work without our conscious intervention. Every second, there are tens of thousands of biological functions critical to our well-being and our survival that are being performed without our conscious knowing, thanks to the proper functioning of a network of nerves known as the autonomic nervous system. To care for our autonomic nervous system, we must take care of our neurons. Neurons can be damaged by alcohol, drug abuse, accidents, medications, or as a result of stroke. It can also be due to genetic predisposition. When neurons get damaged or die, it will result in signaling problems, causing short-circuiting of information flow within our body. We end up with neurodegenerative diseases such as memory loss, dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, stroke, autism, and depression. Neurodegenerative diseases are incurable and debilitating conditions that result in progressive degeneration and may lead to death. This causes problems with movement called ataxias or mental functioning called dementias. An otherwise fully conscious functioning human can gradually degenerate into a mentally wasted and non-functional patient who is dependent totally on caregivers for everything, moving about, eating, bathing, or simply going to the toilet. The risk of degenerative disorders increases as a person gets older. We live in a time when our world population is aging rapidly everywhere. We can expect to see that the number of neurodegenerative sufferers will increase every year going forward. The challenge will be even greater in Asia because some countries just in 30 years ahead, 1 in 3 will be 60 years or older from just 1 in 10 today. The very fact that neurodegenerative diseases have no cure and that the patient's debilitating conditions will worsen to the point of being totally dependent on caregivers means that it will not only be a long period of suffering for the patient of possibly over a decade long, but also a long-drawn financial and emotional burden for the entire family. All the market researchers indicated an urgent and growing need across the world. The United Nations forecasts that up to 1 billion people will suffer from neurological disorders of one kind or another in the near future. Unfortunately, there is little information on how to prevent or delay neurodegeneration. Well, we have news for everyone now.
We are pleased to announce a revolutionary health supplement that is able to support the maintenance as well as the regeneration of neurons so as to prevent as well as delay the onset of neurodegenerative disorders. NGF, short for natural growth factors, is also excellent for enhancing our immune system. Now, our body produces a critical protein for the growth and maintenance and survival of nerve cells, known as nerve growth factors. They enable proper signaling between neurons, especially in the brain. NGF is a synergistic formulation of natural growth factors from premium bird nest extracts, as well as other natural bioactive ingredients. Now, taking NGF will stimulate our brain and nervous system to produce an abundance of nerve growth factors to help in the maintenance as well as regeneration of nerve cells. Research from the National University of Singapore found that premium bird nest is actually a superfood for humans. It contains a much higher concentration of amino acids than other highly nutritional foods such as milk, egg yolk, and instant formula. Now, amino acids are the basic building blocks of proteins and biomolecules. The same research also found that premium bird nest has also a higher concentration of monosaccharides, which are basically simple sugars that bind amino acids to form larger and more complex biomolecules. Now, with a higher concentration in both the amino acids as well as monosaccharides, premium bird nest is a superfood that has the potential to provide a greater variety of biomolecules for health benefits to the human body. NGF is specially formulated from premium bird nest extract with a specific focus on supporting our autonomic nervous system and also care for our nerve cells. A further exciting breakthrough was achieved through an independent clinical study held at the Bioprocessing Technology Institute, which is a national research institute under the Agency for Science, Technology and Research, known as A-STARS of Singapore. It showed that NGF's active ingredient is able to stimulate neurons to regenerate themselves. Now, this is really exciting news, as it means that we now have a chance to repair and replace damaged neurons. Now, have a look at these microscopic images. They show the positive effect of NGF ingredient on normal nerve cells as compared to that of a Parkinson's disease patient. Now, after 48 hours, it's evident that the cellular connection shows signs of improvement. NGF offers us a neuroprotective function. And in the same clinical studies, the scientists compared the effectiveness of applying 4 different growth factors alongside a control of no growth factor over a 3-week period. Now, the first one in blue was the medical gold standard, while the third one in light green was the NGF ingredient. Now, it is clear from the graph that NGF performs almost as well as the medical gold standard. Now, even though NGF is only a food supplement that everyone can consume for preventive care, while the medical gold standard can only be administered by a doctor to patients who are already suffering from some form of neurodegenerative disorder. These microscopic images illustrate more clearly what the graph said. You can see how the nerve cells have regenerated in terms of numbers, and they proliferated over a 3-week period into a densely and well-connected nerve network. The NGF case was almost comparable to the medical gold standard one. This is a very significant breakthrough. With NGF, we can now take an early preventive approach to prevent or delay the onset of neurodegenerative disorder for everyone. For the mild sufferer, NGF may be able to slow down the disease. NGF is carefully formulated with a selection of natural ingredients that work in a synergistic manner. Now, purple chokeberry improves our own natural production of insulin. Sage extract is known for boosting cognitive development and immunity. Bacopa is good for memory. Nattokinesis is good for the heart, while beta-glucan strengthens our immune system. NGF is a specialized supplement with potency on nerve cells maintenance and regeneration. Now, given that neurons are specialized cells and they are very difficult to regenerate, it is really important to start on NGF early to support a healthy replacement through continual cellular regeneration, rather than to start taking NGF only upon discovery of neurodegenerative disorders. NGF is suitable for everyone, regardless of age. Now, to summarize, NGF has the following key benefits for all of us. 1. NGF improves our overall brain function and helps with our memory as well as sharpness. 2. NGF prevents and slows down neurodegenerative diseases. 3. NGF is helpful for various forms of autoimmune disorder, as many of such ailments are caused by signaling problems in our nervous system. And 4. NGF is helpful in upregulating our immune system to counter viral infections of all kinds. Neurodegenerative disorders are a long-term burden to avoid as much as possible. Not only will the patient suffer, the entire family will bear the burden together. Not only it is emotionally draining to see a loved one withered away, it is also a huge financial burden for the entire family. They say prevention is better than cure, but for a neurodegenerative disorder, there's no cure. The wisest thing to do is to take preventive care and to start preventive care as early as possible. Well, there was no solution in the past. Now there is NGF. NGF is available from the person who shared this video with you. Alternatively, get in touch with us via the email that I will put at the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you good health for better life, for better world.